What's going on, guys? I'm Mighty back again with weekly Rust Skins videos, and today we have an absolutely skits week, and that is because the Halloween skins are in the store finally, and we have some new Facepunch items as well. So this is what the top sellers are looking like. You can pause it, you can have a look at it later, but I will probably refer to them a little bit in the video. So, man, we've got some skits looking skins. I'm just going to say it now, and let's get started with the Facepunch items. Just to start off with, we'll go with the hockey mask first. This bad boy is a skin, unique skin for the metal face mask, and it's going for $12.25. So very expensive, straight up off of the Rust store. And I do think because of that, it's going to make it a harder investment. But it is still tradable, it is still marketable. You don't have to ask questions about that. And so are the torch and the baseball bat. So overall, I actually think that this probably won't perform the best straight away, but you could try and pick this one up with a biota off the community market to maximize profits. Overall, as a play skin, buying it now and then holding on to it until next Halloween. If it is down, then it will be a surprise, but there is definitely that chance, so keep that in mind. But if it is up and then gets re-released for $12.25, then of course it would bring the price down, but then you could go onto third-party sites and quickly trade them before the prices change. So overall, I do think that this is going to be a riskier investment just because it's so expensive, $12.25. Try and get this one off of the community market with a buy order if you don't want to pick it up as a play skin. But picking it up as a play skin, I do think it should be not really a skin where you lose money. So overall, with the hockey mask, I'm not going to recommend investing in it off the Rust store, but I do think if you pick it up with a buy order for a decent price, then you can make money off of it in the future. Alright, moving over to the baseball bat. This is a skin for the mace. Now, look, unfortunately, the mace just isn't really... It doesn't get used that much unless you're only playing vanilla, and even then it doesn't get used that much because you're only using it to bonk barrels and very subtle wipe. So $4.60 is an expensive price point for this, but it is a unique Facepunch item. I do think it will get re-released next year, as do I think all of the new Facepunch items will get released next year. So keep that in mind. Overall, I don't think the baseball bat is really going to have a very high demand on the community market unless it has some sort of perk, like you're only needing to craft it with 25 wood or something like that, for example. Overall, though, I don't think the baseball bat is going to be a very good investment. $4.60 is an expensive price point for an item that doesn't get used often and doesn't get used for a long period of time, that being the mace. So overall, not going to recommend investing in the baseball bat as an investment. Buying it as a play skin, on the other hand, I don't really think it's going to go down from that $4.60 price point. So overall, I think that'll be fine if you want to pick it up as a play skin. Right, moving over to the final Facepunch skin that I'm going to talk about this week. If you want to check out the other ones, then just go over to my previous Halloween videos. So we've got the Cultist Deer Torch going for $6.15, and this is the first torch skin added to the game. Of course, this isn't actually a skin for the Rust default torch that we have. This is a unique Facepunch item. Overall, the Cultist Deer Torch is absolutely skits. I love it. I've wanted torch skins more than any other new skin added to the game, and it's finally here. So overall, the Cultist Deer Torch, I think, will be a good investment. $6.15 is an expensive price point, but I don't see torch skins coming out anytime soon to be made by the community skin creators. And so I do think that unless we get one at Christmas time, we're not going to have another torch skin for a long time. And even if we do get one at Christmas time, I'm sure it's going to look very different to this Cultist Deer Torch. So overall, I do think this is going to get re-released next year, but I do still think it'll be a good investment. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Cultist Deer Torch off the Rust store for this week. Expensive one, but I do think it will be profitable. All right, I'll just quickly mention the other Facepunch items, even though I've talked about them in previous videos. So we'll talk about the Coverable Pumpkin. Coverable Pumpkin is cheaper on the community market, so overall I would pick that one up off the community market. Wouldn't buy it off the Rust store. Not a very good investment. Right, the Cursed Cauldron is more expensive on the community market. If you have Cursed Cauldrons, I would recommend going onto third-party sites before the prices change and either selling them or trading them out there. It's currently going for $7.65 Australian on the Rustlum store, and they're starting at $9.78 Australian on the community market. Of course, their prices have gone down because they're cheaper on the Rustlum store, while you buy them off the community market when you can buy them off the Rustlum store, unless you don't know. So overall, the prices for these are going to go down for a while and then inevitably go back up like they always do. But the Cursed Cauldron, I'd pick this one up off the Rustlum store, of course. All right, moving over to the Fogger 3000. I never see this ever get used on the in the game, but it's actually still more expensive on the community market, going for $9.86. It was more expensive yesterday before the store came out. So this one does go above its Rustlum store, but you got to take into account Steam tax. Because of that and because of its high price point, you will usually not actually make money after selling it, even though it looks like it's going to be more expensive and you could make money off of it on the community market. If there was no tax, you could, but because there is tax, you can't really make money off of the Fogger 3000. So I'd recommend getting the Fogger 3000 off the Rustlum store because it is cheaper than on the community market. But I'm not saying that I'm not recommending actually investing in it. The large candles are usually okay to actually have throughout the year, and then you can sell them when the demand. Well, I mean, the demand usually stays the same, but when the quantity is reduced. Currently, there's 246 on the community market, though, so the quantity is way too high. It's very high, so keep that in mind if you want to pick that one up. It's going to be a long-term investment, and there's definitely better skins to be investing in my opinion. The large candle set is cheaper on the Rustlum store as well, so I'd recommend getting the candle set off the Rustlum store instead of the community market if you want to pick it up as a play skin. The mummy wraps going for $9.28. They're currently going for $9.98 on the community market. This is the first time they've been re-released. They only came out last year. So the volume's only 73 on the community market. So they were good. They were a good investment last year. But they're going to be oversaturated now, in my opinion, and I don't think their price is really going to make you profit, especially once they start to go down in price a little bit. Because the quantity will go up and a lot of people will start dumping their mummy wraps on the community market. Right, I just had to quickly take a phone call, so what are we up to? I think we're probably moving over to the next things, and then we've got the Skull, which is the Skull Rock, of course. Now, this one was actually decent as well. It was up on the community market. It's actually still up on the community market, $7.33, although if you sold it for $7.33 in the community market, I do think that you'd probably only just make money at this point. And then be able to buy it again, so probably not really worth your time, but you never know. If you've got a smaller wallet, then maybe just do it. Overall, the Skull has 173 quantity on the community market already. This is, of course, just going to add more quantity to the community market and make it harder for the price to go up. It's already going for $6.15. It's already starting at $7.33. I do think it's probably going to sit around that price. So if you pick it up as a play skin, I don't think it's really going to be that detrimental to your wallet in the future when you get sick of it and you want to sell it, if you get sick of it. But overall, as an investment, I don't think it's really going to, be the best thing ever, and it's not going to make you crazy profits or anything like that, simply because it's been re-released and there's already so many on the community market. So overall, with the Skull, I'm not going to recommend investing in it off the Rustlum store. You can try and get it for a little bit cheaper on the community market, but realistically, I don't really think you're going to make that much profit off of it because I do see it just getting re-released again next year. So not going to recommend that one. We've got the Skull Spikes. These ones are going for $5.84 on the community market. I think this is maybe the third time they've been added. I'm pretty sure. So anyway, they are actually still decent on the community market. $5.84. They were above that, obviously. I do think that this has like a semi-pay-to-win aspect because one of the skins of this version has like candles on it. So it adds a little bit of extra, bloody light in the night and stuff like that. So, you can just place them instead of something else. But overall, I don't think they're really going to be a crazy investment either. Pretty similar to the Rock, the Skull Rock, and the Mummy Wraps. So can make money off of them. And if you pick these up, I don't think they're going to be as negatively impacted as the Rock and the Mummy Wraps, but I don't think they're going to be, that crazy or anything like that. So overall, take what you will with that, but I don't really think they're going to be worth most people's time. All right, moving over to the Skull Trophy. This one is going for $14.53 on the community market and is starting at $12.25 on the Rust store. So still more expensive on the community market. Only 31 sold in the last 24 hours. This is a really good flex skin, in my opinion. You can chuck it out. You can bloody be having some bloody PvP with some certain person throughout the wipe. You can get their skull and then you can display it just as a troll in case you get offlined, or you can chuck it at your front door or something like that. So overall, with the Skull Trophy, I do think that this one's pretty niche, but I do think that it does have a little bit of demand when it comes to the role players. Because it's going for $12.25 on the Rust store, though, definitely makes it a lot harder to actually make profits off of it. And now that it's been re-released, I think it's going to make it even harder. So I do think that you're not really going to be able to make any profits off of the Skull Trophy, so I'm not going to recommend investing in that one. I think we've got one more Facepunch skin, and that is the Strobe Light, going for $6.24 on the community market and $6.15 on the Rust store. The Strobe Light really isn't that popular and isn't really going to be that successful of an investment. I think this is the third time it's come around, and I'm pretty sure you can also turn off the strobe light settings, the strobe lights in general in the settings. And that is just because obviously you don't want people having epileptic fits from your game. So overall, the strobe light isn't really going to make you any profits, so I'm not going to recommend investing in the strobe light off the Rust store at all as an investment. Okay, now let's get started with the actual community made skins, and I'm not going to do the actual showcase for this week, so as you guys can tell, because I haven't been doing it so far, so we'll just get started. We'll go top to bottom, and we'll look at the Ancient Curse rocket launcher, going for $3.85, so that's pretty much the standard store price for weapons at the moment. This is a really nice looking rocket launcher skin in my opinion, although at the same time it is kind of pay to lose because it is glowing in the dark and it's a rocket launcher skin. If you're raiding in the night for whatever reason, you probably don't want a big old glowing rocket launcher on your back. So overall, I think it's a really nice looking rocket launcher skin, but I don't think it's going to have a crazy high demand on the community market. So I do think you're going to be able to get the Ancient Curse rocket launcher for a little bit cheaper with a community market buy order. So I won't recommend investing in it off the Rust store. Overall, really nice looking skin though. And currently it's not even on the top sellers page, so it's in a good spot. Okay, moving over to the Cultist Deer Skull Mask, going for $1.55. This is going to absolutely cuck the Demonic Skull Mask, Deer Skull Mask, and the Uprising Deer Skull Mask prices, which is a shame. It's pretty much going to be like a police hoodie versus the Copper Jacket, like 2.0. It's gonna reduce the price of the already expensive Deer Skull Masks on the community market, which is a shame because obviously they look quite similar. That's why it's going to do it. It is a shame, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure the cheapest Deer Skull Mask on the community market is like $10.55 AUD or something like that. So I do think the Deer Skull Mask is a good investment. I will recommend investing in it. I do think that it will make you money simply because it looks like the other versions, but it's just going to be a cheaper version of that. I do think that, let me have a look at the rest of the store. It's not even on the top sellers, which is really surprising, at least at the moment. Of course, you can check SCMM for a more accurate amount of sales prediction, but you can check that as well just to see how it's going for the last like 24 hours or however long that's based off of. So the Cultist Deer Skull Mask, I'm going to recommend investing in. I do think it's going to make you easy money. It might be a bit of a longer term investment, but I do think it's going to make you easy money. Recommend investing in the Deer Skull Torch, the Cursed Cauldron. Did we talk about that? I forgot. I think we did. Overall, pay to win skin, but I think it just recently got nerfed with the main fire, and that is like the light source being reduced. All right, let's move over to the Kraken Shell face mask and chest plate, going for $1.55 each. Overall, they've only added three pictures, which is very interesting. Overall, I think it's going to be very hard to pair with other skins. I don't really think there's like a flooded, like moist or moldy or wet looking hoodie and pants. I know there's like a pirate themed burlap clothing, so I mean it could go well with that, and it might even increase the price of that a little bit. But that would only really be for like the role players that really like to be, piratey. Shout out to Captain Looks. So overall, with the Kraken Shell face mask and the Kraken Shell chest plate, the fact that they're only going for $1.55 is definitely a good thing. Standard store price for the armor. But I really just don't think they're going to have any demand. So I do think they're actually going to be some of the cheaper Metal Gear on the community market. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in them, even though they are just standard store price. I just don't think they're going to have very high demand. So overall, I'm not going to recommend investing in them off the roster store, just because I don't think it's going to really be worth it. Large candle set, not really. Mummy wraps, not really. I just already talked about them. Pumpkin storage box. This is a small box that is a glowing deployable, going for $3.05, which is actually below standard store price for glowing deployables. Usually they're $3.35, but you would expect them to be more because the prices have obviously gone up for Australians. So overall, I think the glow is it's quite dim in my opinion, and also the fact that the mouth is on one side and then the eyes are on the top. I think it's honestly like a little tiny bit of a letdown. Like if they just reduce the size of the face and they put it all on the one side and they just had it on every side, I think that would be better, just because then you can actually appreciate the skin for what it is, like in the art for what it is. But I understand how they've done it. They've got the one side as the top with the actual stalk part, and then they've got the top face as the eyes and the nose, and then they've got the front face, which is what they would want you facing towards yourself and away from the wall of your base or something like that, as the mouth. So overall, it is a pay-to-win skin because it's a glowing deployable. I don't think it has a crazy glow, but I mean, you can obviously still see it quite well in your base. So overall, I don't think it's going to be too bad, and I also do think some people like this kind of theme, and it can easily be themed in with other skins. So overall, with the pumpkin storage box, even though I kind of just grilled it for a little bit, I actually do think it's not going to be too bad of an investment. So I do think you can make money off of it. You could probably try and pick it up with the buy order for a bit cheaper than $3.05, but as a long-term investment, I do think you can actually make money off of this, because there is pumpkin-themed garage doors, and I'm also pretty sure off the top of my head there's pumpkin-themed large boxes as well, so you can make a full-on pumpkin-themed setup. But then you could also use like other Halloween furnaces and stuff like that as well. So chill. Overall, the pumpkin storage box should be a decent investment. Okay, moving over, we've got the skull. I already said no. Skull spikes, yeah, they'll be okay. Skull trophy, no. Slime monster SAR going for $3.85, which is the standard store price for weapons now, which is unfortunate. I can't remember if the slime Tommy was accepted for Halloween or if it was just accepted as a random skin. But the Slime Monster SAR is really nice in my opinion, and the Slime Thompson is also really nice in my opinion. The Slime Tommy is going for $5.30 and only has 46 quantity on the community market, so quite a successful set. Skin. And also, the skins prices haven't actually gone up from this Slime Monster SAR, so I mean, that is a good indication that the Slime Monster skins are a popular item. But the quantity is only 46, so keep that in mind as well. And the Thompson was also quite meta for quite a long time, including now, in my opinion. So the Slime Monster SAR, $3.85 starting at. I do think it makes it a harder investment, but SAR skins are usually a pretty decent investment, just because the SAR is used quite often, and also sometimes for like the final weapon of some people's wipe. So overall, with the Slime Monster SAR, I would recommend trying to get it for a bit cheaper on the community market with a buy order. But if you pick it up off of the community, off the Rust on the store, then I do think you can make a little bit of profit. Overall, I don't think it's going to be crazy though, just because of its starting price. Okay, moving over to the Spiderweb Poncho going for $1.55. Overall, I will recommend investing in that simply because it only has, it's only the center store price of $1.55. So I do think we're going to slow down on the poncho skins, and I do think they're going to stop accepting them as much. and for that reason, I do think it'll be decent to invest in. Overall, it's also not on the top sellers page, so I'm assuming it hasn't sold too much at the moment. Strobe not going to recommend investing in Witch Altar Locker. It also looks a little bit kind of low res in the actual game, which Your Use TV has actually pointed out. So it's going for $3.05, and we've already had some free. My dog's making some funny noises. You just spewed. Okay, as I was saying, I'm pretty sure the resolution of this one is quite dim in the game, or low, whatever. Overall, it is also a glowing deployable, so $3.05 isn't a bad starting price for it on the Rust-On store. And locker skins are quite a successful investment. So the cheapest locker skin is $2.81, and then after that, the next cheapest one is $5.47. So we have been getting some locker skins accepted in the Twitch drops, which I mean is whatever. Of course, you can't get them again because the Twitch drops don't re-roll, which is a good thing. But it does mean that a lot of people are going to now have a free locker skin. So it's a double-bladed sword. It does mean that less people are going to be buying it because they already have it. But at the same time, that also does mean there's going to be less quantity on the community market because people already have that. And so investors are really the only people buying the locker skin. So overall, for $3.05, I don't really think it's going to be that risky of an investment. So the locker skins from the cheapest to the most expensive, I'm just going to list the first three from the cheapest to the most expensive. It goes $2.81, the Outer Planets locker, $5.47, the Grid locker, and then $11.58, the Permanent Detention. So that's a really old skin, that one. So is the Grid locker. But overall, I am just pointing out we don't get locker skins accepted that often, and when we do, they end up being successful investments. And I do think the Witch Altar locker will be also a successful investment as long as we don't get any other locker skins accepted anytime soon. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Witch Altar locker. Moving over to the Zombie Bear Skin rug. We've only got like 4 bear skin rugs or something like that on the community market. I'm pretty sure from memory they're all making you money, and I'm pretty sure the cheapest one is $9.05, that being the teddy bear rug, going for as I said, $9.05 cheapest, and the quantity is 77. So overall, the Zombie Bear Skin rug should be a good investment in my opinion. The werewolf rug is the only other glowing rug skin, and apparently this glows according to its picture. Although it doesn't say that it glows in the Rust-On store, which is weird because I'm pretty sure it usually does, unless I'm thinking of SCMM. So overall, I will recommend investing in the Zombie Bearskin rug, just because the cheapest one is way more expensive than that. So overall, moving over to the zombie cap, going for $1.55. You don't see the baseball cap ever getting used, so just keep this in mind. It does mean the demand isn't going to be very high, but you also never see baseball caps getting accepted into the Rust-On store. So it's going for $1.55. It's the center store price of clothing. And I do actually think the zombie cap can make you money. It's going to be a long-term investment because the demand isn't going to be very high. I don't think the quantity is going to be very high either though. And it is more of a role-play kind of skin. I would expect to see the zombie cap go into a role player, Rust role player, or big Rust content creators kind of videos in the future, just because it does seem to be that kind of style. So overall, I will recommend investing in the zombie cap, and I do think it will be a safe long-term investment. Okay, moving over to the final skin of the week with the Zombie Furnace. I do think a lot of people are going to like this one. It's currently on the top sellers, 3, 6, 8 down. And I mean, let's have a look at the top sellers. So the top sellers, the top 3, the top 4 are Facepunch unique items. And then the 5th one is the Witch Altar locker, so not great for the locker. 6th one is the Skull, which is another Facepunch item. 7th is the Baseball Bat, which is another Facepunch item. And 8th is the Zombie Furnace. So the 3 skins that are getting bought the most at the moment on the Rust-On store is the Witch Altar locker, the Zombie Furnace, and the Pumpkin storage box. Keep that in mind as well. But the Zombie Furnace, I do still think, even if it has a lot of quantity on the community market, which honestly I don't think it will. I think this is more so people that just enjoy owning skins and like role players, like that kind of people, are really the ones that are buying like these kind of skins. But the zombie furnace, I do think it looks quite nice during the day, and also it looks nice in the night. So I do think it is going to be a pretty popular skin in the future, and it's only going for $3.05. Now, we already have a lot of really nice looking furnace skins, but I do think this is one of the more standout furnace skins, and I do think people will enjoy this one. So overall, I will recommend investing the zombie furnace off of the Rustam store for this. Alrighty, gang, this is my cart for this week. So as usual, I do like the Halloween skins, and these ones are always an expensive cart for me. So if you want to donate, then do so. It's going to cost me $76.80 for this cart. You guys can pause and check it out yourselves if you want. Of course, just keep in mind, don't copy my exact cart because I'm not always buying to invest. I also am a collector, and I also do enjoy my play skins as well. Going to cost me $76.80. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And remember, have a skits one.
Why? 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 Why?